Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Yes You Pod.
The podcast where we put you back in community. I'm Evie.
And I'm Emily. And today we are back for our second episode of the podcast. I'm so excited.
Yes, I'm so
Jittery.
excited. I'm literally clapping my hands. You guys can't see me, but I'm
Yes.
excited.
Yes. We've been all day just jittery, getting everything together. This has been such a passion project for both of us. So I'm just happy that we're seeing it to fruition and we're seeing all the great stuff and the support. But Evie,
So much support.
how are we doing?
Yes.
How
Good. I think just overwhelmed because obviously we're recording this, but our podcast hasn't launched yet.
mm-hmm.
So in about 12 hours or something like that, our
Yeah.
podcast is about to be live. So it's kind of crazy. But if I had one word to describe my day, I would say it was pretty productive.
That's good. We love
I
that.
maybe halfway, kind of.
Yeah.
But how would you describe your day?
Oof. Stressful, but very just rejuvenating. I feel like reassuring.
Okay.
I'm, as you can tell, obviously, because you know exactly where I am. I'm in Puerto Rico right now, and it's very, it's an experience to be around so many family members that you haven't been for so long, and then seeing them every day. So you get a whole new set of, well, not a whole new, but more people to worry about constantly and love constantly. It's great. But that's
Right.
kind of been my day.
I love that.
But yeah, and we just wanted to talk a little bit today about something that I am very passionate about. As a certified only child, not only child, we're talking about sisterhood and what that means to us. And I think that's so perfect because Evie knows so much about sisterhood because she has so many women in her family that I absolutely love and adore. So, yeah, Evie, introduce every single female family member in your family, every single one of them.
The limit does not exist. Too many people. Too many people. But no, in all seriousness, sisterhood is beyond just the family members. I think it just kind of carried it into our everyday girl power. This thing in a woman that makes us oh my gosh, girl power. I'm for you. I'm with you. We go to the same things, and no one understands women like other women, whether it be
Yes.
teenagers or adults. There's something that we have that's so different.
Yes.
But literally I have three sisters, all older than me. I am the youngest. And then I have six nieces that are all around the same age as me.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like a girl party all the time, and it
Yes.
always has been, which I love. But it has just turned into something even more meaningful as I've gotten older. I think before I was just you're little, you're oh, she doesn't like me. You get into catty little fights.
Aww.
And then it's now we're going on, I wouldn't imagine my life without you.
Aww. I love that.
So it's really making friendships beyond the family name. Because
Definitely.
yes, we're family, but that doesn't mean we're friends. But
Yeah.
thankfully, my family, the people in my family, the women in my family are so close. We are each other's best friends.
Yeah.
And I love that. So
That's
that's
definitely
my little spiel.
no, but I love that. And I love that we can also say, I love what you said, that it's just women, know women best. And I think
Yeah.
that's just, it's this whole femininity speech that can go on, but it's so true. And I think me personally, I don't have many girls in my family. I was telling Evie the other day that most of the boys, or most of the people in my family, are boys. And I grew up being the princess of the family, which I took in a lot. But I was also like, I didn't have, the girls that I hung out with were aunts and moms, which that
Mm.
is another podcast. That's another speech that we can go on. But, um, and I was telling Evie that, like, I think in a couple months, there's gonna be a new arrival to our family, and it's a girl.
Love that. I'm so
And
excited for that.
I'm so happy, and I think like there's something very special and very significant when you're able to connect with other women at a young age. But I'm also curious, like, about growing older. Do we still feel those same connections? Do you
Oof.
find it harder to make friends as you get older? Um, and, friends, I mean, you always have community, but there's definitely a distinction
Right.
between friends that you make and sisters that you make. So,
Yes.
do you feel like it's harder as you get older or even like easier?
It depends on the environment. I think when we're in
Mm-hmm.
school, especially public school, like it's kind of easy to make friends because
Mm-hmm.
there's always people around. They could be like,
Yeah.
oh, I connect to this person more than the other.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're not in school anymore, and maybe your COVID came, or maybe you're working from home, and you're not surrounded by people you can go grab coffee with during your
Yeah.
break. Like it's very more isolated. I would say it is a bit harder to make friends when you're not in a place that is for that, or its mission is not
Okay.
community.
Yeah.
But if there are very few people in our circles, right, that we have that bond with, like of
Mm-hmm.
course Emily and I are like sisters at this point. Like
Yes,
it's
very
gotten
much.
past the
Yeah.
friendship level. Like,
Yes.
but it's very rare that you go into a group and say, this person is more my friend. This person I can see as someone I can count on, because a friend. Some people are very picky about who they call
Yeah.
friends.
Oh,
Is a
100%.
friend just someone that I call once in a while, or I check in on, or is that my sister? That's my ride or die. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know if I call her, she's gonna answer me and we're gonna pray. Or like she
Yeah.
has a problem, like she has my back.
Yeah.
So I guess it just really depends on not just, I think a little bit your age, because I think too, it we get like shy. So like
Mm-hmm.
to
Oh,
be
yeah.
ourselves. And when you're a
Yeah.
kid, you're so outgoing and it's easy to
Mm-hmm.
talk to people. But then you're in a situation where it's like, I don't know if I want to reach out to her. I'm nervous to reach out
Yeah.
to this person. But I would say, I guess it just not only the age, but the surrounding. I don't know
Yeah.
if that you feel the same with that, especially like
No, yeah.
at the moment you're not here, not surrounded by maybe your friend group. How do you feel like it is harder to make friends where you are at the moment, or even growing up?
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I I will always say that like I know a lot of people, but not a lot of people know me.
Mm,
And I there's this like kind of balance between, you know, I wish I was closer to people, but I also understand that the reason why I'm not is definitely God, like him,
yeah,
separating me for things. Um I think like you said, I think it really depends on the situation. Like right now I'm in Puerto Rico and we're not here, specifically for school or anything. So it's
right, right.
more, business and, so being here, I'm not gonna sound like a loser, but I haven't had I've made maybe
Mm,
like one or two acquaintances, but it hasn't been um deep downgraded relationships. And I think that's definitely my fault because I've been here for a couple months, if you guys don't know, and it's been one of those situations where I find myself when I'm in a place that it's not where I want to be, I try to have some control over it and like mend it.
right.
And so, to be completely honest, for the first few months I was here, I was the most grumpiest, annoyed person. and
Mhm.
no one in a 20-mile radius would ever want to get along with me. So, at least for this year, and I guess this era of my life, um, it is a bit harder just because I'm I really I really need to get out of this reputation era. Where's my lover era? Come on. Come on.
Right.
And just because me as a person, I do like to be picky with the people that I trust, but I'm also
Of course.
slightly, understanding the importance of, you know, having friends and having sisters.
Right.
And I think, like, by the way, not sponsored, but this summer, the Barbie movie's coming out. And
Yes.
when I tell you, I have been so freaking excited because I'm just thinking, I want to get a group of girls, dress up
Come on.
bedazzled in pink, like literally head to toe in pink, and have a little kiki, have the best
I
time.
love that.
And I think it's just so like that, like when you're younger, you make friends. Hey, you see a girl 3 yards away from you, that's my friend. And so now
Exactly.
it's like we don't do that because of this social anxiety and, people, what they think.
Right.
But we do need that. We need to look at a woman who's pretty and like has a cool haircut 3 yards away and be like, I want that. That's my friend. And so definitely that's
Exactly.
something that we all need to work on a little bit, especially me. But yeah, so and
No, but
honestly,
I also wanted to. Hmm.
no, I just wanted to see like obviously you counted your 70 million female members of your family, but do you think that you see your sisters, like your, family members, more as friends than family?
I guess it also depends on not just the person, but the type of bond. I feel like since my sisters are older than me, I think it was harder in the beginning for me to be like, oh, she's my friend, because it feels like she's my mom. Like, because
Okay.
me and my sisters are have like my youngest sister, we have a 11-year age gap, but
Mm-hmm.
we also call each other every day.
Aw.
So shout out to you, Marcy. Now you are.
I love Marcy. I love Marcy. I've never
But
met her in
we
person, but I love Marcy.
very briefly, I think once, but not like
I Yeah.
maybe at the fashion show, whole thing.
Yeah. I think I've seen her. I've been in the same room as Marcy. I've never like met her personally, but she's amazing. So she follows me on
Yes.
Instagram, so I'm cool.
So shout out to you.
Yes.
And so I think over the years, obviously you mature and you start to relate. Like, you're like, oh, I live at home, and I know that used to be like and this and that. So
Hmm.
it's kind of more like that. And I think I am starting to see my sisters as friends in the sense of like, I can tell you everything. I feel comfortable with you. I think sometimes with family, we put up boundaries,
Hmm.
um, and that we feel so open with our friends. We don't have the same boundaries that we have with our family, which is controversial. Sometimes for
Yeah.
people, it's reverse.
Hmm.
Um, but for me, I think it's easier for me to talk to a friend, and it, I guess, just depends on the situation. But I also do think that because of the bonds that I've built in my life with other women that were like older than me, that are mentors, or just like my sister's kids being my best friends when I was growing up,
Aww.
it caused that connection to happen early on in my life. So I would say yes. All in
Aww.
all, yes. I do see
And
them more as friends, but still have that family bond. Like, I'm there for you no matter what.
yes.
Like,
Oh yeah. And I think it's funny that I just remembered that you sent me all those videos of you and your little cousins doing these like dramas where they get abducted and kidnapped.
oh my gosh, guys, we if you didn't make any movies with in your like webcam when you were in like elementary school, what were you doing? Like, if you were making a home movie with like 5 filters on the Logitech webcam, what were you doing? Like,
No, and it's so cute, but honestly, like I definitely think that if I did have sisters, I always see these like, reels on Instagram, and it's, me coming over to my sister's house to see like my nephews and nieces, and it's like that audio that's like move, and they storm through the door, and it just brought the niece and nephew. I think that I do wish that I did, have a sister growing up, but I think it's nice to know that I still have that ability and want to make friends of that same level, of people that you were like, if
Exactly.
I knew you or 13 years ago, like me and you, literally siblings. And so I think that's what's special. But
Do
yeah.
you feel like, and I know you kind of answered it, but like being a family like so small that it's
Hmm.
just you and your brother,
Hmm.
um, was there things that maybe I want to say you want to talk to someone about that was, and it wasn't like a parental figure that you couldn't
Hmm.
talk to your brother about because it was a girl's thing, if that makes sense. Like,
I think,
how did you navigate that? Because I feel like even being an only child is different, but being sense is like,
mhm,
okay, I'm the only girl, and like
yeah.
maybe it's like way different.
Oh, yeah. And I honestly, I feel like growing up, I was many people, as I am today. Like, I like to
Hmm.
be many people. I
Yeah.
just feel like I can't be just one person. Like, I like to express myself
Right.
in different ways. And even growing up, I was like that. So I was definitely had like my moments where I would have my zebra pink, like spedazzled fedora, and I would wear
I
it
love.
everywhere. And shout out to my mom for letting me wear that everywhere to church with my nice Sunday
Oh,
dress. I had my freaking pink zebra fedora, and I was
I
rocking it.
love
And
that.
then there was other times where I would like fist fight my brother, and we'd get on like a wrestling match. And
Oh, I love that though.
like my greatest memories is like watching like bad action movies with my dad and my brother, and like, yeah, that's so
I
cool,
love
like
that.
like that's it for me. And so
I
definitely there
love
was
that.
moments where I did feel like I missed out a bit in like the, being able to swap clothes with my sister, or
Right.
um just being able to have different experiences with her, like definitely like, to get a little illicit, but it's not really illicit because we all have it, with
Hmm.
like my period. I definitely feel like it
Right, right.
was something that it just happened, and I just went with it just because like my mom didn't make it a big deal, which I'm really glad that she didn't. Um,
Right. Shout out, because
Shout out my mom.
mine either.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was just like, and I feel like if I did have a sister, it would have been like, oh, like, you got yours this time, and like I got mine this time, and like we should, what kind of pads do you use, or like what kind of this, and it was different like that.
Right.
With my brother, he had no idea what it was, so he would just find things in the bathroom and like scream at me because he thought it was something else. I don't know, but it was stuff like that where it was definitely
Right.
like I had to kind of, as I got older, I did though. As I got older, I was more explicit with my brother, with like I gossiped a lot with him. And I think one of the best
Mm.
things for me was like having, not that I had a sister and a brother, because I did just have a brother. He is really, if anyone knows Jaden, he is a brother. You read any book with a
Yeah,
brother in it, that's him. And
that's Jaden,
so that's
literally.
literally Jaden. So for us, it was like I would like gossip with him, and like, we would just be
Hmm.
funny in public, but at home he was just a dude. Like he,
Yeah.
got me into video games and Mortal Kombat, and
Hmm.
like that was my life. So it was I learned to adapt, and it was
Right.
something that was great for me, but I also did feel like I did miss out a bit in the, girly stuff, doing things together. I feel like as girls, which is like it's a very
Right.
different experience. Like even
Hmm.
with like you had like a huge age gap with your sisters, you still had like your nieces, and you had people that you could do things together.
Exactly.
And for me, I felt
Exactly.
like I did miss out a little bit, but I'm still grateful for my brother, and so shout out. It's not about him, but shout out to him. But yeah.
Shout out. Shout out. We love you.
We love you.
I love
Um,
that. I love that. That
no,
is
and
so
I think
good.
that definitely I do want to also cover more on like friendships like that we like grew up with. I do remember also I definitely want to talk about like our childhood friends that we remember first and last name and birthdays, but we haven't talked to them in like 10 years. Cuz girl, I got a pocket full. I
It's the
got
phone numbers that I remember that probably are not active.
yes, yes, that's no, that is it. Oh my gosh. I
Oh my goodness.
remember I had this, mind you, I am fully expecting this podcast to launch out and reach the nations in God's name. And so I
Amen.
will be name dropping, and I do hope that I find these people again.
I
I
will be subbing
remember,
you.
yes, yes, please slide into our DMs if you remember me. But I remember like my first, like first ever, was in pre-K, and her name was Alexis Thayer, and she was this tiny, like shorter than I am, which I am 5 foot and proud. At the age of
Mm.
kindergarten, she was shorter than me. She was a tiny girl, and she had the
Aw.
longest blonde hair, and she had this squeaky little voice, and she sounded like this. And I loved her, and she was so freaking sweet.
Aw.
And then there was like, okay, I'm just gonna listen off. Tatiana Hudson,
I love how you're
Kate.
name
There's a
dropping for real.
yes,
We're gonna find you guys
Kate.
on Instagram.
Yes, yes, please do. Isabella. Oh my gosh, please find us. But it's one of those things I was like, growing up, those are my girls, and we talked about the
Right.
dumbest crap, and we were having life, and I think that was so special. Yeah, so go ahead and name drop every single one of your childhood best friends.
Girl, I have one that is still my friend now.
Mhm.
Thank God. You're a real one. Megan, you know who you are.
Ah!
I love you. She's so excited for this. So honestly, her dad recently sent us a video of us like I want to say we were like 12 or 10,
Mhm.
something like that. We were little. And we're singing happy birthday and we're hugging each other like we're so happy.
Aw.
And I'm like 10 years, 12 years later, we're still friends, like
Yeah.
22 years old. Like it's just crazy. But those type of friendships where we would literally like I lived in the same at the same house as I did back then, and she used to live the block right behind me, and we would make a pathway in the woods from her house to my house
I think
and
you
use
told, yeah.
walkie-talkies
Yes, I
and
think
talk
you
to each other
told
like,
me.
"Are you awake?"
I
And our moms were
love
sick of us. Like they were sick of us. They're like, "Just go." Like, and I would call her on my track phone and be like, "Can you come outside? I want to play with you. I want to ride bikes
that.
today." Like, and it's just those type of friendships where it's like you seeing each other literally grow up
Yeah.
and you get to still do that. That's like, and then she had a sister, and it was just like, wow, like I could see the
Aw.
bond and then and just little
Yeah.
trio. But it was just those again, like you mentioned, like those people that they mark you, like I remember them like for
Oh
life.
my gosh. Yeah.
It's so different. But yeah, I love that. Love that
Oh,
so much.
that's, and it's like, it's crazy because exactly like you said, like the phone numbers and like the first and last names. It's the things that like at the time they were very important to you. Like the,
Yes.
I need to call them, or like I need to call them by their first and last name, so like I know more about them than she does. Like that kind of thing. Like it's just childhood thing,
Yeah,
but it was so
why?
important to you. And it's like, yeah, it was like this competition to see who's the best. It was a whole thing. And then we were all just friends at the playground. But I definitely wanted to ask because Miss Evie is a traveler. She has been
I
to all
know.
7 continents. And kidding.
I wish.
But eventually,
Not usually,
eventually. But
yeah.
do you feel like not only your childhood friendships, but even like your recent friendships, do you feel like those breakups that you've had with those friendships hurt more than like the romantic breakups?
Ooh, that's a spicy question.
Ah,
Well, honestly, guys, I
yeah.
haven't had any romantic breakups. or any
Yeah. No,
breakup.
no, no, no.
So,
We are
but
both the Virgin Mary, and there is no romantic here. There is no romance
there
whatsoever.
there is
No.
nothing to talk. There's nothing
No.
important
The slate
to
is
talk about.
clean.
Um,
Yes.
but I feel like hello, these friendship breakups, they hurt
Oh,
like they hurt
no.
like death. Like it feels like
Yes.
someone died. I cry over people. This is really bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I need to go back to therapy for this one.
Okay.
But I'm being very transparent when I say that,
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't think when I say like to someone, I can't live without you. I'm so serious. But
Aw.
in a way that's like I love to see people win and I love to see
Yes.
people thrive. And it's like not having someone there that has literally been through everything with you is very
Mm-hmm.
hard.
Yes.
I
Oh.
think there's a respect level that you have for people because
Mm-hmm.
you've been there for them. So it's never like oh man, like that kind of stinks, but it's more like I respect you and we're
Mm-hmm.
thriving in our times.
Yes.
But it does hurt when there is like a distance or maybe that's like when things aren't the same.
Yeah.
But I would say that it does hurt. It does hurt a little
Yeah.
bit. But it in the end,
No.
like if there's someone's really your friend and they're
Mm-hmm.
really, they're gonna continue to just be there. No matter the
Yeah.
distance or the time, there's people that you don't talk to, but then you see them and it's like you never stopped.
Right.
And those are my favorite.
Oh no,
And
for
so
real.
like I think those are just important things. Like it's like something we used to say. It's very cliche for if you know, you know. But
Yeah.
it's my life for years.
Mm.
And something me and my friends just said, my life for years, my life for years. Um, and it's just, it's, oh, I feel like a Dito moment. But it's like
Oh.
that. It's just my life for years. If you need me, I'm there. And
Yeah.
so I would say friendships do hurt in a way. I've never experienced a romantic breakup. I'm being so super transparent. I never really have. Um, but I would say like it does hurt to lose someone that you think uh, is going to be there your whole life.
Right.
But it's
And
okay
that's
because God knows some
hmm
people are there for specific seasons and some people are there just to help you be uplifted in the season that you're in.
right. Oh,
And I don't
and
know if you
that's
feel the same. How do you feel about that? Like, do you feel
I
like friendship breaks up hurt more? Like, do you feel like how do you cope through that? I know that we're very, we're the same but we're different. We have our things,
yeah.
but
I don't know. And then again, for on the record, I have never had any romantic relationships ever. So don't ask me that. But I will say I I can remember in the past 2 years I've broken off from like about like two or three friend groups, and one of them broke my heart only
yeah.
because it was like girls and boys kind of friend group, but it was
Mhm.
definitely like because I felt like these people, like I talked to them every day, and
Right.
for them I was just the friend on the side, and that was
Yeah.
ugh, literally like you said, death, because it was like I just put so much energy into this relationship and this
Exactly.
group. I was the glue for them, and the moment that
Oh,
and it
you
was
said
like,
the word.
yes, that glue. And then the moment that like you speak your mind or you say something that they don't agree with, and mind you, one thing, one thing about me, I'm gonna say something. I am going to say
Exactly.
something.
As you
So,
should.
and it was like a moment where it was just disagreeing on like again. It was a whole political thing, which, probably shouldn't have been the catalyst, but definitely was a buildup. And so it was a whole fight that we had. And it was over like text message. And I remember just like, I'm done. Like, I'm gone. I'm done.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until after where I was like, oh my gosh, like I spent so much time with these people. Like, I told them everything. I told them
Yeah.
everything.
Your life. Your
And
life.
Yes, and they know, and like you said something like the other day, it was like they know too much. Like they know everything. They've been there. They've
Exactly.
seen it. And so that's like it's also this, when we talk about even romantic relationships, like when you do so much with one person and you kind of have to let them go, it's like they have pieces of you. They have memories of you. They have
Exactly.
uh you as a person. And so with like again, people, us, everyone in the world, we like drama, which that's just how it is. We're girls. We're girls. We like drama. We like all that, blah, blah, blah. But I also think it's hard to maintain relationships in the modern day now because it's all
Right.
about, posting everything on social media and like airing people out and like airing all the drama out. And that's
Yeah,
a
no.
whole thing. And I think it does hurt and it affects me. And I think one thing I will always say is that like I think I'll never cry as much, in a romantic breakup as I will with a friendship breakup. Just because
Yeah.
they're the people that they're not even asking you for anything. They want to be
Right.
there for you platonically, and then they still want to break up like with you and like end that friendship. Like that hurts. That hurts.
So bad. So much, yeah.
And but I am lucky that I do have consistent friends in my life and friends that even if we do like fight, which is like barely,
Rare.
you know,
Yeah.
I still know those people, like they're consistent, like we're gonna get over it, like we will. um but yeah, and I think like it's something that, as again we talked about, like your different situations, you find different kinds of people and different kinds of friends.
Right.
I think it's very important to keep checking up on those friends that are consistent,
Exactly.
because one
Mm.
thing about me and about all of us is that we will forever be changing. We will forever be new people.
Right.
Um, and I think that can be very good, but also sometimes very sad. But yeah,
Yeah.
and so
That was
that's
so
everything.
good. I love what
Yeah.
you said about the glue. I've been referenced as the glue. And I'm like, how
Mm-hmm.
do you take that? Like, it's hard.
Yeah.
I think at first I was like, oh, that's cute. But then after I was like, oh, this is scary. Because it's
Yeah.
like, you want to bring people together as the type of people that
Mm-hmm.
we are, right? Bring people
Right.
together, but then you're like, that's something that maybe wasn't on time. But
Mm-hmm.
as someone whose heart is obviously, we have good intentions,
Yeah.
your friends will always see that and they
Yeah.
will attempt because of your efforts. And those are your friends, the ones
Yes.
that attempt because of your push, because of your heart. Like they
Yeah.
want to be there for you. And
Mm-hmm.
so you hit it on the head when you
Yes.
just snapped. She
Yeah.
was preaching. She was preaching to the
Yes,
choir.
no. No, but
Um,
I
but
honestly,
yeah,
no. I love women. I just love friendships. We could talk about this all day. But I did want to like ask really quickly because I know there's this like, it kind of started on the internet and like ran down the pipeline, reels, TikToks, YouTube, all this. But there's a certain like phrase that people use, which is like girls. And oh my god, it has wrapped
I
my
love it.
brain
I love
because
it.
I'm like, am I a girl's girl? Like, have I put in the effort to look out for my friends and don't
Mm.
let men's opinions and the patriarchy influence our friendship? Like, have I put that effort in? And also, counter question, has other people not been girls to me and I let it slide? Oh,
Oof.
what?
That
Wait!
was the one right there.
Uh, no, and
Do you consider yourself a girl's girl? I consider you a girl's
oh,
girl.
I consider you a girl's girl, 100%. Like,
1,000.
I, I do think that one thing that I will always, and like I get referenced as the mom friend in a lot of my friend groups because I do
Oh,
take
me
care of people.
too.
I just as mom friends
Yes.
having a podcast. I love
Yeah.
that.
I love that. Us
No,
moms.
but
Yes, you moms.
yes, yes, you moms. No, but it's this like because there just is this innate thing of taking care of each other. And I think we've
Right.
both seen the horrors of people not being able to help each other and we having to step in
Yeah.
and again be that glue
Oof.
and
Yeah.
fix things. And so
Right.
I definitely think we are girls by default, which is good, but
Yes.
it's also, we do have to pray about it and work on it, but it's a good
Yeah.
thing because we will never stop wanting to help other women and uplift other women because that's who
Yeah.
we got. That is who we got. We got women. And so
Mhm.
I think that's so important. Do you think that you've been a girl's girl or people haven't been a girl's girl to you?
Both.
Was yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that I can always be a better girl's girl, but I think
Mhm.
I've done a pretty good job with the people that I consider my close circle.
Yeah.
But I'm always looking to learn more about people that I don't know, like, and
Mhm.
just like we talked about last week, like, what's your trauma? Like, well, who are you? Um, but just because you can help that person, that girl, that young adult, like navigate.
Mhm.
And that's what I like about being a girl's girl. Like, we're learning together. So it's
Yes.
not that
Ah.
I'm looking out for you as your sister, as someone that's older than
Yes.
you. I love to connect with people that are younger than me because I feel like, oh, my nieces make fun of me all the time. They're like, it's like a TikTok that's like, um, you're my best friend. It's like, I'm definitely your best, like, I'm definitely your best friend. I can't say,
Yes.
but
No,
I
no,
don't know if
no,
you've
that
seen
one.
that,
I
but
know. Yes.
and it's and like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm definitely your best friend. Like, but it's so stupid and humorous, but it's literally me. They're like, this is so you. I'm like, oh, thanks.
Ah.
But it's just that it's literally being friendly, being
Mhm.
out there, and just looking out for each other. Like, I've
Right.
been in situations
Oh,
where
for
people
sure.
have not looked out for me, and I'm like, oh no,
Mm-mm.
like, yeah, I
Mhm.
gotta go. I don't got time for that.
Yeah.
Like, because I deserve respect as not just uh a girl, but as a human
Mhm.
being. Like, you should be looking
Right.
out for people, even if it's just you're walking down the street and you see someone look sketch and you see a young girl like you're gonna want to step in. Like, these are just normal instincts that we have, that our discernment is like, hey, I need to step in.
Right.
Like, I need to be a girl's girl right now and just help out. Or I need to be
Yes.
a girl's girl and be like, girl, you look good. Or I need to be a
Yes.
girl's girl and uplift someone. I think
Yes.
all
Come
my
on.
social media is like people trying to be too perfect. And then
Mhm.
when I finally see them be themselves, I'm like, oh, there she is. Like, she let her hair curly today. Like, yes,
Aw.
you look so cute. Like,
I love
just
that.
be yourself. Be
Yes.
that girl's girl that's. I remember I was on FaceTime with my friend. Shout out. I'm gonna say all my friends' names. Shout out to Heaven. I was on FaceTime with Heaven,
Yes.
and she was walking down the street, and she literally got so happy because someone put down their window and was like, "You look beautiful today." And she was so happy, and I was so happy for her.
Aw.
Her day went from 0 to 100,
Yeah.
and it's like, why aren't we those girls that are
Yes.
just like uplifting all the time? It just makes a difference. I don't
It
know, little things like
does.
that. It sparks
No,
something like.
I would literally like cave if someone did that to me. No, but that's like it's so true because I feel like if anything, there's this like one song. I'm not gonna say the artist because we need to pray for her. But she has this like one lyric where it's like they want to pin us against each other when we succeed for no reason. They want to see us end up like we Regina on Mean Girls. It's a whole rap. It's a rap. It's a rap. But I remember it because it was like when we really
I'm
succeed.
dying because I'm singing in my
Yeah, but it's something that is like
head.
really yes, Princess a Queen Tomboy. Okay, enough. But I think it's very important because yeah, we and Evie are singing it to each other in our head telepathically. But I think it's so important that in a society that will forever try to pit us against each other, when we do great, when
Exactly.
we succeed, when we win, um, I think it's so important that little thing of just like I want to so bad to be that girl out in public that's like, you look so pretty. I love your jacket. I love your
Right.
hair. And I will forever try harder and harder to be that. And I think that's so important. And so I'm glad that we both recognize that and have experiences with that so we can, both try harder and just, be better people. But
Just be better.
um exactly.
I love that so
And
much.
I wanted to ask, do you have any advice for people who are struggling to make connections and, to start communities and friendships and sisterhood?
I guess my advice would just be my advice would just be to not be as fearful. I think we get into our
Mm.
heads a lot.
Yeah.
We're in like shy mode. We it's like turtle shell mode, like we get nervous.
Yeah.
And it is kind of hard at first, but
Hmm.
if you are really committed to knowing someone because you feel a connection,
Yeah.
you never know where that's going to lead. It could
Yeah.
lead into something like this, where we
Right.
didn't know each other. We didn't
Hmm.
know that it was going to end up to be this sisterhood, but I
Yeah.
couldn't imagine my life without it type of thing, you know?
Oh. Yeah.
So love you, girl. But I would say just do it. Just do it.
Yes.
And don't be afraid. I think the more that you know that you're being yourself is all that really matters. And if someone doesn't appreciate it because
Mm.
they don't, whatever, everyone is different.
Yeah.
Don't take it to heart. Just know that people are gonna love you for you, and those are the people that you want. Um, and community is just, especially like a sisterhood,
Yeah.
is very achievable. If you are committed, if you want to make those connections, you want to meet up with people, even if it's for 15 minutes, even if it's just to talk to them for a little bit,
Yeah.
it's definitely worth it. It definitely
Exactly.
doesn't leave. It shouldn't leave you on empty. It should keep you
Right.
um, always on full. And that would be my advice. I know that you probably have some amazing advice as well.
No, but yeah,
What would
it's
you
like very
say?
similar. I think they, like you said, just do it. I think there's so many opportunities that present itself in this world to be kind to people and to start friendships. It's just this, like, again, the social media perception that we're all untouchable when really, like, we
Right.
need to be touched. We need to be touching each other and feeling each other.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's so important that you don't have to completely come out of your shell and be the most, extroverted person, but
Outgoing,
to
exactly.
have those moments where you can relate to another person. And it's so easy. Oh my gosh. It's so
Hmm.
easy to relate to people nowadays. Like, it's the smallest things. Just because we all, kind of see the same things online and we all, kind of have
Exactly.
somehow, some way, have common interests. And I think that's so
Right.
important. But I definitely will say, like, again, be yourself, but also it's so important to be women together and to, that trend. I'm literally gonna get that tattooed to like one day, but it was like we were girls together, and that, like,
Mm,
looking back, like every single moment of your life, you have had a woman right by your side, growing up with you. And whether that was a sister or a cousin or a niece or an aunt or a mother, whatever that was. And I think that is so special and important. And I think that's what really makes sisterhood, is being able to grow together and support each other. And I think that's so important. But yeah, I'm so happy that we talked about this today. I feel so fulfilled. I feel
me
so
too.
happy that we did this. And, like, I'm just happy to have such a good podcast partner. And
Oh
but yeah.
my goodness. Me
No,
too.
but
At times 1,000. It was a beautiful conversation. I am so excited again just to be able to talk about stuff like this. Yes, you can start a community. Yes, you can be a
mhm.
girl's girl. Yes, you can form a
Yes.
sisterhood, or a meaningful friendship. So, with that being said, everyone, just thank you so much. Thank you so, so, so much for your support this week
Yes.
and for the ongoing support. We are so grateful. We love you guys. Please share this episode with your sister, with your friend, with your coworker, with your mom, with everybody.
Yes.
Make sure to follow us on all of our socials, on all of our Yes You Pod socials, whether it be our Instagram at Yes You Pod and our Spotify. Add it to your library. Rate it. Tell your friends.
Yes.
Comment.
Yes.
And ours, everything will be just linked on there. But again, we're so excited and we can't wait to see you and for you to hear more from us on our next episode. We love you guys.
We love you guys. Bye.